Hello YouTube, it's JP Onion and welcome to the official start of my first Let's Play. I say official start because you may have noticed I have one video up already, and I'm calling that the unofficial start. It was definitely not a good one. And the reason for that is the interaction of two mods that I've got, and this is a very heavily modified version of Skyrim, and I'll talk about some of the mods hopefully shortly, and if not, you'll definitely see it later on in the video or videos. You'll run across various mods and interaction. You'll probably think, whoa, I don't remember that from Skyrim. Um, but the first mod was Live Another Life, and that's what you're seeing right now. You don't have to go through the You don't have to go through the opening sequence from the vanilla Skyrim game, where you go through Helgen, the execution, and the dragon attack. You don't go through that. You can start somewhere else as someone else. You get to choose your own backstory. And the backstory I chose was he was fleeing from High Rock on a ship that ran aground just north of Dawnstar. And that would have been his introduction to Skyrim. He would have swam to shore and started his quest just east of Dawnstar, I guess, if he swam straight south. That's where he would have started, and that's how he would have started. Unfortunately, I also had the Frostfall mod installed, and that adds in the elements to the game. So now you have to deal with being hot and cold, wet and dry, you have to camp, all that stuff. It actually matters now. You can't walk around naked in a snowstorm and expect to survive anymore. You'd have to bundle up, you have to get out of the snowstorm, you have to camp. I'm not really sure, I haven't played with this mod yet, so I just know that it adds the elements. And because he swam all the way back to shore through that frigid northern water, my poor character just kept succumbing to hypothermia and dying, and it didn't work. So that was my unofficial start to the Let's Play. You don't have to watch that. I'm going to try to do the introduction here, and I'm going to try to be a lot more... I'm going to try to be a lot quicker about it than I was in the last video. I realized after I made the video that a lot of the video was just blah 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 and stuff that you probably didn't need to watch. But a little bit of background about how I'm going to play. I'm not playing as JP Onion, I'm playing as my character. So what my character knows is what he knows. He doesn't know what I know based on my playthroughs, my previous playthroughs. And I have played this game before. I played vanilla Skyrim shortly after it was released, probably put about 100 hours into it. I've never played with mods before. So this will be a new experience. And I have played Morrowind, and I have played Oblivion, and I've played heavily modified versions of both of those, but I've never played with these kind of mods. And when I say these kinds, I'm referring to the immersion mods. So I'm trying to make Skyrim feel more alive, more real. So I've got Frostfall, which adds in having to deal with the elements. I've got a mod that adds in real diseases and real needs. So he needs to eat, he needs to drink, he needs to sleep, he needs all that stuff. I've added a whole bunch of other mods. I think I'll talk about them maybe later on. I might add a mod list, I don't know, to the description. I'm pretty sure as you watch, you'll see something here and there, and you'd be like, I don't remember that from the Skyrim. Well, that's probably a mod, and I might comment about it if I recognize it at the time. So yeah, I'll actually be role-playing. I'll be playing his character, and it's an immersive game. I think that covers it. So if you did watch the previous version, then you saw a little bit about who my character is. But I'm changing it around slightly. I'll be playing the same character though. Well, physically the same character, so I'll just get him back. Skin tone. And he's a little bit skinny because... No, actually he's gonna be a little bit... He's a wizard, but... Alright, I'll just go into the background. My character's name was born Barbelos, and that's who you saw in the previous video. Barbelos, who kept dying. Barbelos grew up in High Rock, and he found that he had more magical abilities than his friends. And that's saying something for High Rock, because as I understand it, the Bretons have an affinity towards magic. And because he found that he's got more magical abilities, and this might have been just because of who he is, but also because he had more power than everybody else, you know, his friends. He thought pretty highly of himself and became pretty arrogant. You know, he thought, hey, I've got more magical abilities. I'm better at it than everybody else. You know, I'm better than everybody else. And so yeah, like I said, he's arrogant. He's an arrogant character. He's pretty much a jackass. But he's not rude. He's just thinks very highly of himself. So yeah, as a teenager, he went to start an apprenticeship under the court mage at his local lord's castle. And this is what he's always dreamed of because he wants to become the court mage. Barbelos also loves power. Not power for himself, but he's in love with power that other people have. And he recognized the power that the local lord had, and he wants to be around that. He wants to serve that. He wants to be useful towards maintaining that power. And that's partly why the court mage position really intrigued him. And plus, like I said, he thinks very highly of himself, and he thinks that's just a perfect fit for him. He's not going to be some lowly mage anywhere else. He's going to be the mage towards the most powerful person in the land, or at least the land that he knows. Unfortunately, just when he started, he cast his first spell on his first day. It happened to be fire, and I don't know if he's nervous or if it just didn't work, but it backfired pretty badly and blew up the lab and nearly burned the castle down. Barbelos, in a very smart move, decided to flee the castle because just after he fled, the Lord, in a fit of rage, put a very significant bounty on his head. Barbelos found out, realized that he could not return home, and decided to flee into the wilds. And he took the name of Bierles. Bierles was an old family name. Any dirt on his face? No, no dirt. Bierles was an old family name, and he figured, hey, I like that name. I'm going with that. That's who I'm now. I never liked the name Barbelos, so my name now is Bierles. Bierles, sorry. And he ended up spending the next 10 years or so. He looks like an hag raven with that nose. He ended up spending the next 10 years or so living out in the wilds, trying to escape capture, and you never really knew if they were pursuing him, but he figured they probably still were, or at least if he went back into civilization, then somebody would recognize him, and the Lord would capture him and execute him. Ooh, I like those blue eyes. Well, let's go with those. Yeah, let's just stick with what I had before. No, I didn't have that. I had that hair. This is Bierles. Say hi to Bierles, guys. So, Bierles ended up spending about 10 years living out in the wilds. So he did learn a little bit about how to survive out there, enough to survive, basically. But he's not really a hunter. He's not really an outdoors kind of guy. He always wanted to come back into civilization and pursue his dreams of being a mage and finding somebody in power to serve. But he knew that he couldn't return back to civilization in High Rock because the Lord whose castle that he ended up destroying, or almost destroying, has a lot of influential friends in all of High Rock, and they were looking for him. Or at least he believed that they were looking for him. He never really found out. So he never really returned to civilization. But he always dreamed that he would. Bierles. Let's start. Now this, like I said, is the Live Another Life mod, and I start out in this jail cell. Now, really quickly, I'm going to configure some of my mods. Convenient horses. I want my horses to go about 50% faster than they do in the normal game. And I don't want to be able to pick locks that are significantly higher than my ability. I never thought that that was appropriate. I think it's very immersion breaking. However, I am able to smash locks with weapons or smash it with destruction magic other than shocking spells. So yeah, let's begin. Bierles wakes up in this prison cell, and he has no idea how he got here or how long he's been here. He just knows he's been here for a long time. Nobody responds to my pounding on the door.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
Now, Barbelos, like I said, had spent about 10 years living out in the wilds of High Rock, and he always dreamed of returning to civilization. And this goes back to the first video, if you did watch it, him constantly dying of hypothermia. He always thought about, how am I going to return? Maybe I could flee somewhere else. Maybe Morrowind, or maybe Skyrim, or somewhere that nobody had heard of me, or nobody's seeking me out. And every once in a while he dreams of escape. But part of the reason why he never actually tries is because his dreams always turn to nightmares. and he always ends up getting captured or dying somehow, and that's what happened. The previous video was just his dream. He was dreaming of escaping by ship, but it ran aground, and that was his nightmare. So now we're going to choose a new way for him to escape High Rock and come into Skyrim. And I'm thinking I'm going to go for by ship, but what else do we got here? I own a property of one of the holds? No. I'm a new member of a guild? No. I'm a patron at a local inn? No. Soldier in the army? No. I got caught crossing the border illegally. I'm an outlaw in the wilds. But that sounds like it requires him to already have been in Skyrim. I'm a vigilant of Stendar. I am camping in the woods. I was shipwrecked off the coast. I'm a vampire in a secluded lair. I'm a necromancer in a secret location. I was attacked and left for dead. I'm a forsworn native. Oh, let's see. I'm an outlaw in the wilds, or I'm camping in the woods. I also kind of like this one. I got caught crossing the border illegally. Like I said in the last video, I think this one sounds very vanilla. I mean, when you start the vanilla Skyrim game, you're caught up at the border, and I don't know how similar this is, and I don't know where you start, but I think this fits my character more. Skyrim and High Rock do share a border, and I think I'm going to choose this one. He was out in the wilds, and he was close to the border, and he realized, you know what, I'm just crossing, I'm going into Skyrim.
Such is the strange and twisted hand of fate.
Use an empty bed to begin your new life. Alright, so hopefully it's not too similar to... Hopefully it's not too similar to the opening of Vanilla Skyrim, but if not, or if it is, then we'll go from there. By the way, Bierles is not opposed to looting corpses. He's pretty greedy. And that's another reason why he wanted to be a court mage, is because he recognized that with his skills, that might be the best way of earning a ton of money. But it was also because he wanted to be around those in power. And he thought pretty highly of himself. So there we go. He's pretty arrogant, he's greedy, and he adores those in power. I'll put that in the video description. Let's begin. Loading, loading, loading. As this is loading, I want to... Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, you're kidding me. It is the opening. No. No, 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 no. We're doing this over. Sorry, guys. So he's camping out in the woods. He didn't realize that he crossed the border illegally. Breton. Preset. His face is not that There we go, it's a little smoother. Eyes, brows, hair. There we go, there's Bierles. Oh, I've got to do all these mod config. The mods are still configuring. Come on. Okay. That looks about right. Convenient horses. Smash lock, unlock with magic. Alright. Frostfall is enabled, right? Frostfall is now started. Perfect. Alright. Lost in thought, you reflect back on how much the wilds have taught you about yourself over the last several days. Well, it's been it's been a lot longer than that. You recall a book you once lost that was full of wisdom about survival in the open country. On a whim, you open your pack and find the Survivor's Guide to Skyrim staring back up at you. Had it always been there, or had thought alone summoned it? You push aside the thought as you thumb through its pages and then carefully place it back, knowing that some things are never truly lost. So, what do I have? Alright. Let's just get this started. You are now prepared to face a... Oh, yes, that's right. Okay.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
Alright. So I did not get caught crossing the border illegally. And I'm no longer an outlaw in the wilds because nobody in Skyrim knows who I am. But I am camping in the woods. So I managed to cross it over into Skyrim. I did escape High Rock. Everything is fine. But I'm still out in the wilds. I am Bierles, the Wanderer.
The woods can be so peaceful this time of year. Good hunting.
But I do have dreams of finally returning to civilization. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try... Yeah, I'm gonna try to find my way back to civilization and pursue my old dreams of being mage. Oh. Ignore all this. I need to enable all the new ambient sounds. This is Sounds of Skyrim, by the way. And it's a really nice mod. It adds a lot of ambient sounds to Skyrim. There's 3 of them. One for the wilds, one for dungeons, and one for civilization. Alright. There we go. So where am I? I'm near Helgen. How far did I travel? Wow, I traveled pretty far. Where should I go first? Well, No, I don't want to go to Helgen first. I'm near Whiterun. I think I'll make Whiterun my... Well, let's just start wandering towards Whiterun and see where we go. We'll probably run into another little village. My character doesn't know about all the villages around here, so what time is it? 9 a.m. Perfect time to go. Is there anything in here? No. What do I got? What do I got, actually? Okay, so I've got fur armor. And my character is... He's not opposed to light armor, but ideally he wants mage's stuff. But this is all he knows. And he created these. When he fled into High Rock, he didn't know the first thing about living in the wilds. But he quickly learned how to survive. He quickly learned how to kill animals, skin them, and get the leather and create a few items to survive off of. So he does know leather working, and that's pretty much it as far as creating items goes. He did learn, though, that he's very good at alchemy. You know, he tried all the ingredients around him and learned that, you know, I know what to do with these. Hey, this is awesome. This is just like magic. So he's very adept at that, and he wants to learn a lot more about it once he's given the opportunity. So he's adept at alchemy and destruction spells, and a little bit at restoration spells. And the rest are just sort of off and on here and there. Here and there he will dabble in them, but mainly destruction and alchemy is what he knows. And I've got fur armor. These are the ones that he created. I've got some apples, and this is good because I do need to eat. I've got a longbow, and he's very bad at that. So I'm going to sell that once I find some place to sell stuff. He's got some potions of healing. This is the stuff that he created on his own. He's got a silver ring. This is another mod. It adds in rings for the left hand. So now I can wear one on the right hand and one on the left. However, the left-handed rings are never enchanted. I've got to do the enchantment myself, and he's very poor at enchantments, so don't expect anything very significant. Some arrows, and 2 books about mods that I've got. One for Frostfall and one for War Zones, which actually brings in the Civil War to Skyrim. As you know, in Skyrim there's the Civil War between the Imperial Legion and the Stormcloaks. However, in the vanilla game, if you walk around, you never actually see the battle. You hear about it, but you never see it. So this should bring the battle to Skyrim. And if you watched the previous video, you saw I did run across one battle. And I need the woodcutter's axe. And I need to create fire for later, so let's see if this works. Alright, so I've got some firewood, and I'm going to be carrying this around with me later. Or for later. I don't know how many I need to start a fire, so I'm just going to get 10. Just a couple words of warning. First of all, I apologize in advance for the really crappy audio quality. I really hope you can hear me and the game at the same time. I have no idea. I did watch the previous video, and it seemed fine, but I don't know if this one's fine as well. I'm still playing around with it. I don't really have a decent setup at the moment. My computer's pretty bad, so the graphic quality might not be the best. And the audio quality is definitely not the best. What I'm using is the default Xbox 360 headset, and it's connected through the controller, which is in turn connected to the computer, and that does actually work, thankfully, because I can't go to the store to pick up a new one right now because of the snowstorm in Portland. It's pretty much shut the whole city down. But I do plan on getting a new headset, so that hopefully the audio quality will improve, and I've budgeted for a new computer in the next few weeks, so hopefully the video quality will improve. So, that's if I continue with this, but I do plan on doing that. I think I saw something moving out there. Oh, what do I got for magic? Oh, second, this video will be pretty slow because I'll be role-playing, so if you want to watch something fast-paced, this is probably not the video for you. Perfect, he's got flames and healing, so he does have restoration and he does have some destruction. He conjure familiar. That's sort of a family. That runs in the family, but he doesn't really know much about it, so he avoids it. Survival skills. Let's see what this does. Oh. Oh, this is cool. Current exposure. He's warm. He's not wet. He's protected, fully protected because of his leather armor. Frost resistance 0, exposure resistance 0. He's ranked wolf. I don't know what that all means. Rank info. Oh, here we go. Your fierce, independent spirit defines you. You've learned that it's the little things that make a big difference. Step by step, you have taken the necessary precautions to survive in all but the most fierce conditions. Even so, you remain humble. Yeah, not my guy. One small slip, one careless action, and you know that your fate is sealed. Stay vigilant. What kind of tips do we got? Your adaptation to Skyrim's climate is currently below average. Adaptation happens naturally over time. As you gain levels, your ability to tolerate the cold will increase. You'll gain 1% exposure resistance every 5 levels up to level 50. Adaptation will also allow you to swim in frigid waters for longer periods. I'm not using Skyrim, so. Torches are an easy way to slow exposure gain by granting 10% resistance to exposure when carried. I'll have to get some torches. Use survival guide craft item to craft a torch from firewood or deadwood and a strip of linen cloth. Oh, that's cool. Scraps of linen can be found in dungeons or by ripping up a piece of body clothing using craft item. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I have to scavenge clothing off of people to get the linen. Frost resistance can provide a meaningful increase to your overall survival time. Seek out enchanted equipment that increases frost resistance whenever possible. These factors are not tracked when determining your overall rank. Soups and stews increase your resistance to exposure temporarily. Carry a cooking pot to make them while traveling. Backpacks also offset the weight of the additional gear required for wilderness survival. Snowberry extract allows you to swim in frigid waters for 3 minutes without any harm. Cloaks give exposure resistance and protection from wind or from rain when worn. What else do we got? Oh, that's awesome. Improves movement speed by 10% when held. Fur armor. So I can create the fur armor and traveling cloak. Unfortunately, and we'll see how this goes, but one of the mods is realistic carry weight, and because I'm a Breton, I can only carry 95. So I'm going to need to find or create some backpacks or something like that to up that. But as you can see, just with the starting equipment, I'm pretty much done. So this is a little bit more realistic. I can't carry a ton of stuff. What else we got here? Oh! Oh. Okay. So he loves rings because he can sell them. He's got some lockpicks now. Golden necklaces. He's got some gold. He does have some jewels. These are what he found in caves and dungeons on his way to where he is now. He will need... Oh. He'll need some ale. And he'll need... What does Bierles have for food? He's got apples. You know what? He doesn't need his longbow. Or his arrows. But he does need food. I don't know why he has a bow and arrow. He's not good at that at all. He's got venison stew. And some honey nut treats. He made them himself. He's got one more ale. He's got cabbage soup. He's got soup. And some cheese. And some meat. Alright. Bierles is ready to go. I think I will stop the video here, and this will be the end of the introduction. Thanks for watching.